3 months later, Lagos had moved on, but Amaka hadn't. The city was loud as ever, the honking, the chatter, the glow of endless lights, but inside her apartment, everything was quiet, painfully quiet. She hadn't been on social media since the scandal. Her once busy page, filled with design launches, trips, and couple photos, now sat frozen in time, a graveyard of memories. Every morning, she'd open her Instagram drafts, stare at her last story, never trust a man who prays with you but sleeps with your assistant, and feel her stomach twist with regret. That single post had burned everything she loved to ashes. Her sister, Ijeoma, tried to help her move on. You need to start again, Amaka. Go back to work. Launch your new line. People forget fast in Lagos. Amaka smiled faintly, but it didn't reach her eyes. People might forget gossip, but she couldn't forget Tunde, his face when she threw accusations, his silence when she slammed the door, the look of betrayal in his eyes. At night, she'd find herself scrolling through old pictures she once couldn't bear to delete, their engagement dinner at Shiro, their honeymoon in Cape Town, his arm around her waist as he whispered something only she could hear. The memories cut deeper than any wound. Then, one humid afternoon, her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, she said softly. There was silence, followed by the sound of someone crying. Then a trembling voice. Ma, this is Anita. Amaka froze. The name hit her like cold water. Anita. Yes, Ma. Please don't hang up. I need to tell you something. It's been eating me up for months. Amaka's heart began to pound. What is it? I didn't do anything with your husband, Anita sobbed. Tiwa made me lie. For a moment, Amaka couldn't breathe. What did you say? She came to my office one day, Anita continued between sobs. She said if I didn't pretend to have something with Tunde, she'd tell him I was stealing company data. She said she wanted to protect you, but later I realized she wanted him. She made me delete messages that proved it was all work-related and even typed some fake ones on her phone. She used screenshots from another number to make it look like him. Amaka sank onto the couch, phone trembling in her hand. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. Tiwa said it was just to make you open your eyes, Anita continued, but she laughed after you posted that story. She told me, finally, she'll know what it feels like to lose. I couldn't live with it anymore. I'm so sorry, Ma. Tears streamed down Amaka's face. You're sure of this? Everything? Yes, Ma. I swear on my life. I resigned because I couldn't face Tunde anymore. He treated me like I betrayed him, and I couldn't explain. Please, forgive me. Amaka whispered a faint thank you and ended the call. The silence that followed was deafening. She sat there for what felt like hours, her mind replaying every moment with Tiwa, every whispered warning, every comforting hug, every lie dressed as friendship. It all made sense now. The jealousy in Tiwa's eyes when Tunde proposed. The subtle digs at their perfect marriage. The way she always lingered too long when Tunde was around. It hadn't been friendship. It had been envy carefully disguised as love. By the time Amaka gathered the strength to drive to Tiwa's apartment, her hands were shaking. The door opened to reveal Tiwa in a silk robe, wine glass in hand, her hair in perfect curls. Amaka, she said coolly, as though she'd been expecting her. You look tired. Amaka's voice was low, but sharp. You lied. Tiwa's brow arched. About what? About everything. Anita called me. She told me the truth. For a moment, Tiwa's face went blank. Then she smirked faintly. So, what now? You're here to slap me? To cry? Or to finally admit that you believed me because you wanted to? Amaka's fists clenched. You destroyed my marriage. Tiwa laughed bitterly. Destroyed? No, my dear. I just showed you what was already weak. If a man truly loves you, no lie should tear you apart. But yours? She shrugged. Yours fell with one whisper. Amaka's eyes burned. You're sick. Maybe, Tiwa said, sipping her wine. But at least I'm honest about it. You think you were the victim? You were never content. You wanted the world to envy you, and now it does, for losing everything. For a long moment, neither spoke. The tension in the air was thick enough to choke on. Then Amaka turned and walked away without another word. Tiwa called after her, her voice echoing through the hall. "Tell him I said hi if he'll still pick your calls." But Tunde wouldn't pick up. Not anymore. When Amaka reached his office, his assistant told her he'd relocated to London 2 weeks ago. He's starting fresh, the woman said kindly. He needed space from everything. Amaka stood outside the glass building, her reflection staring back at her. Everything she'd fought for, the love, the life, the image, gone. All because she believed the wrong person. Weeks turned into months. She went back to work, designed again, smiled for the cameras when she had to. But behind every smile was a shadow. She heard Tunde had launched a new branch of his company in London. Some said he was dating someone else, others said he wasn't. She didn't know which was worse, losing him to someone or losing him forever. At night, she often found herself scrolling through their old wedding photos. Her thumb would linger over one where he was looking at her like she was the only woman in the world. She could almost hear his laugh again, feel his hand on her waist. Tears would blur her vision as she whispered to the empty room, "If only I had trusted you." The nights were long, the guilt heavier than sleep. And somewhere far away, in a quiet London apartment, Tunde sat by his window, scrolling through old photos too. He stopped at their wedding picture, her smile radiant, her eyes full of love. He didn't delete it. He couldn't. Because no matter how much time passed, the truth would remain the same. It wasn't distance that destroyed them. It wasn't time. It wasn't even betrayal. It was one lie whispered by envy, believed by love, that turned forever into memory. And as Lagos moved on, as the city kept shining and the traffic kept roaring, Amaka carried that truth like a scar she'd never hide. One like an end everything love spent years building. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share for more sophisticated and teachable stories by Josh O. Tales.